Hi everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Warren Bennett. Got my trusty sidekick down there. I would say enjoying the sunshine, but it's in the shade. I don't know why, because it is absolutely freezing. But I'll take it nice and sunny at the middle range at Chesfield today. As you can see from the title, this is called the stop-start drill for driving. Now, some areas of your body need to be still for others to work. And for driving, this feeling I'm going to give you today is an absolute must. So apart from a putter, and hopefully you don't use that tee to green, this has got the least loft. And if you're struggling to hit your driver, we've got to hit this driver with neutral loft. And there's areas of the golf swing that we need to work in unison, in sequence basically, to make that happen. And I've got this one thing that cures 4 feeling today. What I mean by that, if you can do this one thing, 4 things improve, and hopefully your driving will as well. And for people who can hit a driver, this will improve other areas as well. Strike, distance, speed, and hopefully a little bit of consistency as well. So that's enough rabbiting. I'll get the back camera set up. Trev's in prime position to watch this one, and we'll get going. Okay, thanks very much for joining me, and made my way to the end of the range here, just because we're a little bit downwind, and I don't want to say I'm going to hit it out the end of the range, but try and give myself the best chance to find these golf balls. Okay, let me just hit a few to warm up here. Oh, wow. Well, normally my first of the day is always a necky one. So you might know golfers at your club or people you play with that struggle hitting a driver. Golfers that can hit a driver, and you probably know a few of those as well, do this one move, and I'm going to show you a few replays here. Now, like I said, this is called the stop-start drill, and I'll just hit one more and explain what I mean. A little bit more out the bottom, that one, but I'll take those 3 to start with. And as you can see with the replay, it is so important to allow this club to come down neutral. So the one area that I'm going to focus on, and I'd like you to focus on next time you practice your driving or out in the golf course, is in the transition. I'd like you, as you can see from the replay there, is to keep your axes still, which basically means your head. If your head has any sort of movement going forward, any sort of lateral, even if it stays halfway, then you've put too much lean into a driver. Naturally, your gyroscope, basically your balances, will realise that's wrong and then start rocking back. That's obviously split second, but if you've got a lean into and then a back away, I see too many golfers do that. So 2 things are going to happen from that. They're going to back away with an open club face because they realise they don't want to hit it left. So you get this high right shot with a bit of slice, or if it doesn't open, you get a smother to the left. So the stop-start drill is basically, in transition, you've got to have your head staying still. All these pros you see on TV, they even probably have a head that goes backwards. This allows the club to come past them and to square up and to release. That's exaggerated a little bit, but what you can't have in a driver is your hands forward or any sort of smothering and de-lofting. You can see in transition, there's going to be a little bit in transition, but you can see from 7/8 of my downswing, my head stays exactly still because I worked on it. I remember when I was 12, 13 years old, I remember seeing swings in Golf Monthly. From what you could see on telly, I was kind of focused on what was happening there. Like Seve, obviously had it probably a little bit too much back here, but from copying these top players, I could see what was happening. I'm allowing this club in my arms to come past me. So if your head is fixed, other parts of your body can then move. If my head, I think I mentioned it, I don't know if it was part of this series, but if your head moves, other parts of your body can't, then you have to back away. So if I've got too much lean into too early, then I can't move my bottom half, you see, so because I'll fall over. So my gyroscopes in my head, if I keep my head still, that allows everything, legs and my arms and obviously club, to swing through. So I'll tell you how to do that in a minute. Keeping that top of your axes still, or even slightly back with a driver, that is, not with an iron. Obviously it's going to be easy for me because I haven't got the problem, but keeping it there, you can do a few practice swings. Head, make sure it's there. So if you've got a shadow, put your shadow in front of you or turn around so you can do some practice swings in your garden. Turn around, make sure your head's still, but not just keep everything there and swing down. Remember, you've got to be able to unlock other parts of your body. So my head is still, but everything else is moving, you can see. So you can do this little impact exercise. Beautiful. Remember, you don't really want your hands too far forward. There we go. But I'm allowing the shifting of my bottom half to happen because my head is back until about here, and then everything obviously gets pulled through. I'm not just doing this, but keeping everything on the ground. Remember, everything's got to unlock here. So head still. It can rock a little bit on the way back if you like, just because of the coil. Then from here, train everything to move laterally whilst your head stays there. You can see from the behind view what that does. It's a little exaggerated. You can see naturally it wants my right arm to fold and under. You can see I'm quite square because of that. If I move forward, what comes with forward is open. What comes with back, exaggerated, is closed. And with closed comes a little bit more neutral path if you're over the top and steep. You cannot be steep with a driver. You cannot have a steep plane at all. You'd rather be slightly Rory McIlroy and under, and then you can kind of work out a bit of release then. So I'd rather you be this side of the fence with the driver, a little bit of natural spine tilt, because if your pockets go that way, basically shifting your weight, getting off your right side a little bit, and your head still, you've got natural spine tilt. Spine tilt basically being that zip you can see there. Got to have spine tilt for a driver, but to have spine tilt, this head has to stay back behind the ball. This is what's called separation. You're separating your top half from your bottom half. So what you can do at home, and you can do this in a door frame, you can put your head just slightly off the door frames. The door frame's here. In the backswing, you can just put a slight bit of lateral into it and then rest your head against the door frame and then keep it there. And you'll feel the separation. Because if you've got any lateral, you'll feel that. So little tiny bit of sway because of the coil into the door frame and then hold it. Now you won't be able to go probably about as far as that. And you shouldn't go any further because you'll kind of twist your back a little bit. Remember to kick off. Beautiful, keep your head there. Remember doing that when I was young. So that's a great exercise to do at home to give you the feeling of wow. Because if you are a bit of a leaner into it, you will really feel how much you have to stay back. And then if you transfer that over to a golf swing, the next day, or if you go to the garden, you can go, okay, feel like, how did that feel? Basically something like that. It's a bit exaggerated. And every elite golfer that you see, every golfer you see on TV, you probably have golfers at your club that can be very efficient with the driver. And you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, why can't I hit a driver? Well, you've got to hit a driver because you've got to be on the correct plane-ish, and then you've got to make sure you're coming back into that ball with the correct amount of loft. Nothing less or nothing more. So that's one of the main ingredients of driving. If you haven't got that ingredient in your driving recipe, you're going to struggle. So next time you go to the range, just check your head. Next time you're indoors, if you're watching this, after watching the video, go to your door frame, do a few crossovers. Make sure you put your head on the door frame at the top of the backswing, not just at the start. So you just kind of, you're swaying slightly, only an inch, into the door frame and then holding. You'll be surprised, and please let me know below how that feels. Does that feel really separated to you? It does me, even when I do it. So remember, for a driver, not necessarily an iron, a little bit with an iron, you can get away with it, but definitely, because it's teed up with a driver. So I'm going to say it because it is the one thing that Cures 4. It wouldn't be a video without it, would it? But it's an absolute beauty, this one. So just a little pause and making sure that axis is passive can have a massive effect, that's for certain, because it can spiral all the way down your body and, more importantly, down your arms into the club. So next time you go to the range or next time you play, just give that a go. Like I say with many videos, you don't have to be absolutely perfect. You don't have to turn yourself into Rory McIlroy or twist into a pretzel overnight, but just a little bit of this will give that club the best chance to swing down to the ball. And out of that, you'll get a little bit, hopefully, a little bit more natural speed, and off that, a little bit more distance as well. Okay everyone, so thanks very much for joining me for this series, and really hope you've enjoyed it. If this is the first one you've seen, I'll put the rest in a playlist, and hopefully there'll be something there for you to watch as well. Okay, so for myself, Trev, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great golfing day if you're playing, and we'll see you then. Cheerio!